going on, guys? Welcome back to Leave It to the Judges MMA show with the boys, Nick and Xavier, as always. Today, guys, we're going to be looking forward into the UFC calendar. We're going to be covering every single main event that is announced. There are 8 announced main events on the calendar. Guys, we're going to start with this Saturday. We got Roman Dolidze versus Fluffy Hernandez in the Apex. Pretty good Apex card. But let's talk about the main event first, guys. What does this main event mean for the middleweight division? We got 9 versus 10. And who do you got?
I mean, this doesn't mean very much. I think this is just mostly about the ascension of Fernandez. Um, I'm not sure like what's going on with most of the middleweight division, but like I feel like this is a good way to like slowly move up Fluffy. Um, that this kind of like is kind of spoiling who I'm predicting, obviously. Obviously, I think that Fluffy's gonna very handily win this fight. Well, I just think that that's what this is kind of about. It's just kind of like slowly moving Fluffy up the card. I mean, when you look at middleweight ranks, like a lot of the people like ranked above him either have fights or like it just doesn't make sense or they recently fought. Um, so you can't take too much of a jump up. It just this is like a one rank jump, but like most of these people are kind of unavailable right now, for various reasons. So I think this is just a stepping stone fight for Fluffy, really. And I expect him to really kind of dominate in this fight, especially once things go past round one.
This means nothing for the division. Uh, Usually the case in a deletes a main event.
Funny as fuck.
Feels like he's had a couple, which is
Yeah,
weird.
that's just where he's at. Like we said in our earlier video on middleweight division, this is just where he's gonna be. He's gonna be the eight ranked fighter forever.
In the Apex.
Yeah, eight through 10. Uh, Fluffy's gonna easily win. Well, I do think Dulidze has a style that could give Fluffy problems at first, but I think over the course of the fight, Fluffy's pressure, I think he's the better wrestler of the two, but I do rate Dulidze there for sure. Um, but I think Fluffy's pressure and cardio is just gonna wear on him. Probably wins a comfortable decision. I don't think he'll finish him, but comfortable decision. He's about to hoop on him. Fluffy is that guy.
I
Is
disagree. I think he gets the finish, man. I think
maybe late, but
because it's a 5 rounder. If it was three, I would say no. But like in a 5 rounder, I've just seen Dolite so gas in that bitch, bro. I've seen him gas, just fighting for his life, and for someone that like when you gas against someone that's kind of also kind of gassing with you, then it's kind of okay. But I just think that based on the cardio I've seen off Fluffy, like he's just not gonna stop the pressure, and I think that eventually, like he will just whoop my man's. He will whoop him.
I will. I mean, Dulidze is tough though. I don't believe he's been finished.
The first time for everything, man. Trust, trust.
I mean, maybe. I'm just
It's
saying. I
possible.
do think he's tough. I do think he's tough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hernandez also. I think he wins a UD, a unanimous decision. I think Roman's a little underrated. I don't know how he keeps ending up winning some of these fights and getting in these main events. So he's doing something right here, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is a Fluffy showcase fight, hopefully. I think Fluffy's a legit contender, or he's gonna at least end up being one after this little storm settles at the top of the division.
Little
But
Little Storm is crazy. I feel that.
any before we move on, just really quickly, anything else on this card you guys want to quickly talk about? Because it is this weekend.
We could address. I mean, the only other thing really is the Urseg. Like, can Urseg get a win? I feel like Ode Osborne's a fat step down. So if
This
he
is a
can't,
huge, yeah.
yeah, but if he loses to Ode, like he might be fucked. To be honest, he might
Mm.
be fucked.
Ode's not terrible, so like, I mean, it could be a
Oh,
trap, but
Did I
I
draft
like.
this one on my team too? I think I did, bro. I think I have Urseg on my team, so this might be an easy win for him, and it should be. And if it's not, like. he might just single-handedly tank my fucking season, trust. 'Cause, like, I'm sick of his ass losing, bro.
I like Ode Osborne. I think he's decent. But if Urseg loses, man, I would immediately cut him, honestly.
Oh, shit.
That's what it is, Ed. Like it's that big of a step down. Where, like if he, especially if he gets like finished, bro.
Gets knocked out, it could be bad for him, bro. And my thing is like I really don't see him losing a decision in this fight. So
No, yeah.
I think he is at risk of getting boomed, but that's just because I've seen nothing positive off his chin. So
And it's tough because, oh, go ahead.
You should easily win.
Yeah.
Enough said.
mhm.
Shout out Urzik. All right. The next pay-per-view, UFC 319 in Chicago. We got DDP versus Hamzat Chimaev. So far, I think Islam versus JDM will be a bigger fight, but this is the biggest fight of the year so far, I'm pretty sure. Would you guys agree with that? There's just so much aura and intensity to this fight. Intensity. This is an intense ass fight.
I mean, people have been waiting for Hamza. We have been waiting for Hamza to get a title shot for years at this point. And because of his own health, like that hasn't come to fruition yet, but it's finally time. The time is now. I've also been waiting for Duplessis to get fucking fraud checked, and that hasn't happened either. So we're about to see right now. I mean, if he gets past this one, I'll give it to him. Um, I have been impressed with the fact that he keeps winning these fights against like my own predictions a lot. I feel like I've actually predicted against him in every fight that he's had, outside of the Darren Till fight. Like, oh, I mean, and the Brunson fight. But I mean, since when he got to Whitaker, Strickland, Adesanya, like I've predicted against him every time. Um, So I mean, and that it's for a reason, bro. The man just sloppily just wins these fights, bro. He kind of just lucks his way into fucking random victories, seemingly. But I mean, obviously there's skill there, but I'm just saying he fights like fucking a baby giraffe walks clumsily, okay? And I just feel like at some given point, technique has to take over. And if it doesn't in this Hamza fight, then I will have to stop picking against ZDP because then he will have finally proven himself like worthy. But I'm gonna pick against him again, man, because Chimaev is one of them ones. And even though I do have cardio concerns about if this fight gets to like round three, I have seen DDP gas out as well. And like I was just explaining, if both people are kind of equally gassed, then I do trust technique to win out. I do think that Dricus does have good comeback cardio, and we haven't had to see Hamza in 5 rounds. Yeah, we haven't gotten to see that because even when he's been scheduled, he just gets a quick finish, and like we never see the championship rounds. So I am kind of worried about what happens if the fight does go long, but I just have to have enough faith in Hamzat's ability to get this shit done in the first couple of rounds via sub.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna predict probably round 2 sub Hamzat.
My boy Drinkers Duplessis fight again, man. He's here in Chicago. We will be watching him live, and he's gonna get it done for me. You see, in Hamzat's past, he's had trouble with Gilbert Burns, smaller man. Kamaru Usman, great fighter, smaller man, a welterweight. And now he's going up against a tank, an absolute weapon. And I just feel like, because I do agree, I think Chimaev will win the first round. I do think he gets one of the first few takedowns he shoots. Because EDP has been taken down before, for sure. So I do think Chimaev will get him down.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't get that finish and it gets outside of the first, Chimaev slowly and slowly throughout the fight will wilt. I've been telling y'all, he wilts in these fights all the time. And it's almost like when DDP gets tired, He gets more energy, bro. He just goes for it. And I could just see a very easy scenario here of them both starting to gas in the third or even in the fourth. And I just feel like one of those DDP, thunderous hooks, or, he'll stumble into one. It's gonna 100% crack Chimaev because he's been dropped before. He got dropped by Gilbert Burns as well. Um, and DDP hits a lot harder than Gilbert Burns, let me tell you. So
Facts.
I just feel like if I'm betting on Chimaev, he's got to get it done in the first round, in my opinion. I just don't see him even go. I don't see this fight going five. I think no matter what, there's going to be a finish somewhere. Just based on their styles, how chaotic energy it's going to be a finish somewhere. And I'm going to trust DDP's just better cardio, I think. We'll see what Chimaev can do. He'll try his submissions, all that. He's undefeated. Rodriguez Duplessis never lost in the UFC now. He's hunting for that record of I don't know who, it's probably Silva. And if he wins this fight, we might have to talk GOAT status of the middle. That's how excited I am. If he wins this fight, it's just over. It's over. No one's touching us. We actually might win at light heavyweight as well. Whoever the champ is, Pahea, bring him. That's the easy dub. Or, Mr. 30 punch to win a title on Goliath. We'll take either of them out for sure. DDP,
I highly doubt it, but we will see, I guess, if you get past this test. We will see, because
he's just a very big man,
from Pereira and his clumsy ass is like fucking falling all over that octagon.
he's just a very big athletic man. He's hard to deal with, and he is a finisher. That's what I love about him. It might look clumsy, but he gets finishes. The only person he hasn't finished in the UFC is Sean Strickland, or in his whole career. Sean Strickland's the only one he couldn't finish.
Yeah. I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been kind of flip-flopping, but I am gonna land on DDP getting the dub.
That's right.
Um,
Thank you.
I'm not gonna sit here and act surprised if Hamza wins. Obviously, he's a beast, and whoever gets a win here, like this is an historic middleweight fight. This is one of the biggest middleweight fights ever, just because of like the aura of who Hamzat is, him finally getting this title shot, and DDP is like an established champ. But yeah, I just feel like if he doesn't run him over in the first round, DDP is just going to be really awkward for Hamzat to handle over 5 rounds. And I just think he's more well-rounded. And I hate using this argument, but DDP doesn't seem one of those guys that Hamzat is just going to bulldoze like he did Whitaker. I feel like it's going to be a really physical fight. Both guys are going to get their licks in, but I'm going to take DDP.
I have seen this man Dricus taken down by Darren Till. Darren striking Till, okay? Darren Till was whooping this man's ass on the ground for a whole round. So like damn near. So when you're telling me that Hamza can't do it, and that was after
He was gassed
I,
up.
I no, I know DDP was gas, but I'm saying that was after DDP had whooped Darren Till's ass for like the better part of the first half of that fight. And after that, like I seen, this is granted, I have seen Dricus's cardio get a lot better, no surgery and whatnot, but I'm not gonna discount the fact that the man got taken down by Darren Till. And I just think that there are certain levels of deficiencies that you can't really overcome in this sport. And if you're getting taken down by Darren Till, you're gonna be able to get taken down by Hamza at a decent clip, I feel like. Plus,
He was
like
gassed.
sometimes Dricus takes himself down, bro. I swear he's a clumsy motherfucker. So I just feel like he doesn't have the most balance to him, and I just see him. I can see Hamza just being able to like, lay and pray a couple of these rounds away, worst case, at least.
You,
So
Rodriguez is very good getting back on his feet.
My thing is this: as long as when Hamzat's not on the when he's on the ground, he just can't be like going balls to the wall. Like he has to like kind of be smart with his energy a little bit. He can't just like because I do agree that like Hamzat is not Whitaker. Like I mean, DDP is not Whitaker. Like he's not just gonna fold that easily. I don't think. Get his teeth crushed right away, probably. So I just think that it's gonna take a more like methodical approach from Hamzat. Unless he like does blitz him, I think he could get him out of there quick by sub. But overall, I think that the smarter strat would be to like secure the position, try to do some damage. You know what I mean? Like try to just mostly just work on not gassing yourself out because the second that your gas is fuck against DDP, it will be issues. So I just hope that Hamzat knows how to keep something in the tank and has learned from his previous gas outs that like maybe you don't want to do that against a big man like Drake is.
Well, anyways, we will have a real in-depth breakdown of that fight and that whole card next week. Let's move on, guys. We are going to China. We have Johnny Walker versus Zhang Min Yang in the main event. 13 versus 14. Pretty sick card. We got Ortega and Sterling in the co-main, Pavlovich and Cortez Acosta. It's a sick card, but we're here to talk about the main event. A very interesting main event here. I wonder who's gonna knock out who here. I mean, I gotta go with Ming Yang. He's just kind of the hot prospect right now.
Yang is about to tap that Johnny Walker.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
bro,
fucked up, man.
we all know it.
In China too.
This is what this fight is being set up for. You know, it's being set up for the Chinese fans to have a moment off the back and more accurately the chin of Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is the worst Walker brother now, and like how I never would have thought that that would be the case after seeing his brother debut, but that's where we're at with it right at this point. Yeah, I think that Yi, Zhang Mingyang by TKO KO at any given point, like at any given point, whenever he touches that chin, I think it's over. I'm gonna guess probably damn near round one, but I will say like they probably have a little bit of a slow start because it's 5 rounds. So round two TKO is my official prediction, but like either way, like the TKO will be happening, guys. Trust.
No, for sure. If this was a 3 round fight, I would think about taking Walker, but the fact it's five, the fact Min Yang's probably gonna pick it up as the fight goes along. I just think he's gonna find this TKO. Now Min Yang, I don't know if we've seen him go many rounds before. So I will say that is very unproven, but I do think if he just gets a really good punch off,
It's over.
like yeah, Walker will probably fold.
For sure.
My faith comes way more from Walker's chin than anything about Zhang by himself, to be honest. It's like I have no faith in that paper chin of Walker's. And I just know that Zhang can crack at least at the bare minimum. And if you can crack against Walker, whether he's technically better than you or not, you will probably punch him at some point. He also has a very energy using style where he's very like explosive and shit. So he tends to at least become more hittable as the fights go along. And whenever that point comes, that bomb will land in the 5 rounds. The 5 rounds gives me ultimate confidence that he will get one punch on that chin, and that's really I think all it takes.
Definitely. All right, guys. We go to
Hold on, let's just talk about this Ortega Aljo fight real quick.
banger fight. I got Aljo, man. I got Aljo for sure.
I've been calling for this fight for years, man. My boy T City subbing that man up.
No way you're picking T City.
T City subbing that man up.
No.
The thing is, I do think that Brian Ortega has better striking than Aljo, and I just don't see Aljo blanketing him for 3 rounds. I mean for 3 rounds, yeah. I just think that like if he is just if they are grappling, I can just trust T City to like find the sub, I think. Especially because as long as he's not rocked, like T City's still one of the best pure jujitsu practitioners in the UFC. And I don't think Aljo's gonna club and sub Ortega or like club and take down him. I think he's gonna be way more like just trying to go for the wrestling. And in that, I've seen too many vicious Ortega guillotines and subs to think that he won't just find one against Aljo. And I think that also like I've seen Ortega have a lot of striking grit in his fights, and I have not really seen Aljo come back from like I think Aljo is a bit more of a front runner in my mind. I think that I have not really seen him like grit his way from the bottom too heavily. So I think that like if he's losing the fight, I think Ortega can always just like come back and he always has that like he's used to losing fights early. Whereas I think that if Aljo gets to a bad start, like it tends to just unravel for him, to be honest. So I think that this is I can't even see the odds right now, but like I hope that Ortega's a dog so I can capitalize on that because I really think he's gonna like take this man out, to be honest.
I, I, I feel you, Xavier, but I just think that Ortega, me personally, I think he's gone. I don't think that Ortega's there anymore. I didn't like what I saw in his last performance. I think Sterling's striking is pretty underrated. I think honestly he'll get the better of him in the striking here, and I could see him wet blanketing him. I could totally see him wet blanking him and like Ortega trying to find a submission for 3 rounds on the back, but just can't. Because Aljo, dude, Aljo, I cannot see Aljo getting submitted. I just can't, man. And I was very impressed with the Evil F fight. But I know T City's your boy, so I'm not gonna,
No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, that is the kind of fear, right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I think that were Aljo to win, then I would have to more so admit that to me that would mean more like T City is fried more than Aljo is good, you know? Because I think that like I have long thought that this was a matchup that I wanted to see for a long time. Even when Aljo was like champ at 135 and like talking about moving up, I always was like try to fight Ortega and see how that goes for you. So I think that people forget that Ortega can strike, and I think that this is gonna be a reminder because Aljo's hands are not it. Trust, like he has good like kicks and shit, but like I don't see him just like completely just outclassing Ortega on the feet. And I think that if he keeps grappling, he will end up in a problem.
When you brought up this fight, it reminded me about Lucas Tracy's video yesterday and how he put this man, Aljamain Sterling, as a well-rounded fighter. Well-rounded. Do you agree with that, Ed?
I don't think he's good at everything, but he's not like just a one trick pony. Like I'm not gonna disrespect him, but no, I don't think he's like well rounded like a
But
Habib, obviously.
is he a good striker?
Oh, Habib?
No, no, I said he's not.
No, I'm saying like you think Habib is well rounded?
No, oh yeah, yeah, Habib, yeah,
He definitely is, bro.
for sure. Yeah,
I would not say Khabib is the most. He's not my example of a well-rounded fighter for shit, to be honest, because his striking was always ass.
maybe or Islam then. I feel like Islam's
Islam is
super.
well-rounded. Islam is
Okay.
well-rounded. Okay, I'm just saying Khabib is not who I would go to as a well-rounded fighter.
But
As
no,
in,
no, I don't think Aljo's well rounded like that. But he's not a one trick pony. Like I'm not. I don't think he's like Ryan
my thing,
Hall.
my thing is this: like for Aljo, when he is fresh, his striking is fine. But I think all of his striking is very much like energy using striking. And I think that we kind of saw this in the Piotr Jan fight very clearly. Whereas, like, in the Piotr Jan one fight, especially, like, where early on, maybe the striking looked a little 50-50 for like one round, and then he kind of gasses. If he's striking everything, it seems like he's throwing with full strength and like energy and like using his athleticism. And from what I've seen of him and others, that kind of striking usually leads to you depleting your energy. And I think that that's just not the kind of fight that like he wants to have, and nor is it the kind of fight that he is best at. I think that he's best when he's like mostly just like controlling people on the ground. That's how he conserves his energy. And I feel like I just don't see him. Even if he's on the ground, he's gonna be using energy because Ortega gonna be throwing up shit that he has to like kind of deal with. So I really just think he's gonna tire out and then either unless he's banked 2 rounds, it might be like a he banked 2 rounds and then Ortega is on his ass round three and then he just kind of wins a UD. But like I just think I tend to think that like he won't be able to blanket Ortega, and he will eventually gas first and get pieced up more so.
This man, Aljamain Sterling, is the biggest split decision fighter. You know, on every scorecard he ever fights in, someone always thinks he loses. So I'm going with T City Ortega for two reasons here. One, he is the better grappler of the two, and I don't believe Aljamain Sterling will hold him down. Maybe against the fence a little bit, maybe against the fence, but I don't think he's holding him on the ground. And two, Aljamain Sterling, Ed, he is not a good striker. This man has the pillow it. Man, he makes Roy Val look like Francis Ngannou, bro. Like he has pillow hands. Like I've never seen this man hurt anyone on the feet. He has okay kicks that he throws every so once in a while. He says he's, training and, getting a lot better on the feet. He's like, let me test that versus Ortega. Okay, we'll see, buddy. We'll see what you've been doing in the lab. All I'm saying is he's also old. We can't forget that. So this is on even playing ground here in terms of age. And,
I guess.
Ortega's the better man on the ground.
I think Ortega's biggest issue is more like on his chin. Like he's been through some wars. Um,
Aljo can punch.
and that's the thing. I just don't think that Aljo has the striking threat to give Ortega a problem. Like I think that Ortega is decent on the feet when he's not getting fucking bombed on by like a fucking Lopez or a Volk or a Max. And I think that like he's just seen so many better strikers than Aljo that like I just don't see Aljo striking giving him any issues, really, that he's not seen before.
I just think you guys are in a rude awakening for like a very boring fight, watching one of your favorite fighters get wet blanket and wrestle fucked. I think that's what you guys are in for, but we can move on. We can talk more about it later.
Yes, sir. We'll
All right,
see.
we'll see. We're going from China to France. We're Nasruddin Imanov versus Kyle Baio. Rufi versus BSD just got announced as the co-main. This isn't. There's a hella French fighters on this card.
Fighting nerd shit, man. Let's go. Fighting nerd shit. Let's go.
I feel like France is a really underrated UFC city. They're always lit as fuck while they're there.
No how I'm rocking, man. Fighting nerd shit.
Easy.
Fighting nerds. Fighting nerds, man. It's gonna be two fighting nerds dubs. Trust. Trust. I
I, I'm
mean, I'm not gonna say like Imanov can't win. I mean Imavov can't win. But I just think that like I've seen this man really struggling with Adesanya before he got knocked out, and I mean, like, granted, Izzy is a puzzle, but still, like, I just think that in 5 rounds, I think that Bohio can fucking get him. To be honest, I think he can get him. I think he's ready. I think that every fight I've seen Bohio in, he's getting better. I'm expecting another like evolution because it's been a while since he fought Cannonier, so. Hey man, I think Ohio might go crazy here. I'm gonna trust the fighting nerds power. So yeah, I'm give me Ohio. Even though I do think that the fight probably is close. I don't think he's gonna run over him, but I'm just gonna trust Ohio here.
I think this fight is going to be extremely close, but I'm leaning Ohio because I believe he is the better wrestler of the two. I think he can hold Imavov down there. And that should be the path to victory. Now, if he is striking, I do think Imavov probably pulls this out. But I'm gonna stick with the fine nerds. They're still hooping out here. Gene Silva's about to give me another title on my team. Uh, I think the that co-main a lot closer. I'll be honest.
I
I
think it's
just
gonna be a war.
I just don't know if Rufy we haven't seen those takedowns tested yet. That's all I'm gonna say. But if it's on the th feet, I think Rufy honestly kind of hoops on BSD low key.
He cuts him up a bit.
Yeah, but BSD does have the takedowns in the bank.
After seeing BSD gas out against Poirier and get smoked on the feet, I do rate Rufy's striking better than Poirier. It's like at least like when they're fresh type shit. Like granted, like Poirier, he's good for like gritting through and like finding his way through fights, but like he be getting clipped early. And I think Rufy, when they're both fresh, is gonna be more crispy. And even though I could see like if BSD kind of like grapple fucked Rufy a little bit early. I don't see him able to like get off the level of damage he was able to get off on Poirier early. I think that just with the fighting nerves that they have like decent grappling bodies for Rufy to train with to at least like be able to survive some like especially when you're a striking specialist, what you mostly train is like grappling defense. And I just think that like he might have too much for BSD like on the feet. And I think that even though he might struggle on the ground at points, I don't think that BSD has the cardio to like keep that grappling attack up long enough for him to not get clipped by Rufy at some given point over the 3 rounds. So fighting nerd shit, give me Rufy in this bitch too. Uh,
All right, really quickly, I actually have Imanov winning here. I think he's going to defend home court, defend his home turf in France. I think it'll go all 5 rounds, and it'll be a very competitive fight. I think he'll win 3-2. I've just been a little more impressed with Imanov. I know he has losses in the UFC, but I like his resume. He does have Buckley on there, and he has the most impressive win.
be a shit. Go on.
I know he was Izzy. At no point in that fight would I was like, oh, he's just completely out of Ivanov's league and he has him in trouble. And he found a finish on Izzy like in round 2. And I feel like that just doesn't happen a lot. Like it took DDP a while.
It's been happening more. It's been happening more and more. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but and Bahayo, everyone talks to him like he's this
It's something.
absolute killer.
It's
What's
something
up?
about it's something about finding someone's picked over garbage a little bit. I'm not gonna shit on Izzy and call him picked over garbage, but you know what I mean. Like he's getting like the sloppy seconds of other people who have already like been like it's already known that like that Izzy chin is not it right now, you know? So that also is a big reason why I kind of like am not sold on Imanov as much as like I mean Imanov as much as his resume might suggest I should be. But go on.
I that still I think it's the most impressive win out of the two. And yeah, I think this is gonna go all 5, and Imanov's just gonna outpoint him. I think he is better on the feet. Bahayo, he's talked about and like perceived as this like killer, this tatted up like the leader of the fighting nerds. I don't think he's the best fighting nerd, and I don't think he's that scary, and I don't think Imanov's gonna think he's that scary. I have him winning a close decision. This is gonna be a sick fight though. Like I have a feeling this is gonna be a banger, and it means a lot for 185.
You know,
All
I
right.
can agree with that. I can agree with that. I mean,
And now
like I said, if Imavov won the fight, I would not be like so surprised. It wouldn't be like, how did this happen? But I just can see a easier. I can just see a path for Bohio to win the fight. Like that's what really would. And I also just have faith in the fighting nerds. Like and
I
their
nerds, man.
fighting nerds, man. Especially on a fighting nerds car, he's gonna be riding high off that Roofy KO, that Roofy second round TKO. He's gonna be like, hell yeah, let me get mine done as well, you know? Gene Silva coming for Volk's head, like they're all on the come up. Trust.
Muted Ed.
Can't hear you.
hello.
Gotcha.
Or-
Okay.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, look, man. It's the fight. The fighting nerds are still undefeated, Ed.
no,
I'm
they're
still
not.
owning. No, no, no. Protez knocked out Gary. That's what I'm doing. I'm moving the agenda goalpost here.
Okay.
I'm dead.
And he literally he finished him just because of some poor IQ in the last moments of that. He finished him. But outside of that fight, they're undefeated. They look like hoopers. Gene Silva about to get this belt soon.
Facts.
And
Yeah,
Rufy might as well, man. Rufy, I mean, as long as Taporia's there, maybe not, but Rufy will climb that ladder.
it's a big step
And
up.
if Ohio, he's undefeated in the UFC. Like he's very good. And I've just seen him evolve a little shaky against worse. Like Sean, is Ohio losing to Sean Strickland right now?
No, I would pick Ohio right now.
Imavov lost to Sean. He got whooped in that fight.
Like I
That's
said,
all I'll say.
I believe in fighters improving.
No, for sure, for sure, for
But I
sure.
feel no, I do feel you. I like Bahayo. He does have that like fighting nerd plot armor. They're fucking sick. Everyone loves them. He's like he'd be perfect to fight DDP or Hamzat for the belt. But
No, I
but
got you. It's not crazy to say that Imavov wins that fight though. I feel you.
but speaking of the fighting nerds, we got Diego Lopez versus Diego Silva
John Silver.
in or John Silva, sorry, not two Diegos in San Antonio UFC Noche. Does this have a co-main?
Suarez Limos.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine. But
But
we're here. Let's talk about this main.
at least for now, it's actually they might,
Yeah.
figure something out.
I'll start with this one, man. Lopez, honestly, right now, one of my top five favorite fighters in the sport. I absolutely love this guy, but I have to pick Gene. I have to use my head here. I have to pick Gene Silva here. It is especially, I wouldn't say this maybe coming off the Ortega fight, but coming off the Volk fight, this is a bad matchup, man. Lopez was in there. He was game, but he was getting tagged up by Volk. And if you're getting tagged up by Volk, or if you're getting tagged that much by Volk, who's not the hardest hitter like that against Silva, bad things are going to happen. I think Silva's the best fighting nerd. This guy's insane.
Yes. Yes.
So, I have to pick against my boy. I have to take Gene Silva here by possibly like a very brutal decision, like a gnarly decision.
You mean gnarly like one sided?
Yeah, like Lopez has his moments, but it's like he's battered after the fight. Like his face is fucked up.
I can kind of agree with you on that. I don't know if even though like I probably rate Lopez a lot lower than you do, but I think that I think Lopez is gonna get his as well. I do think that a part of what happened with the with Lopez Volk is like Lopez to me showed Volk a lot of respect. He was not kind of blitzing him the way that he kind of like usually does these other fighters. He kind of like let Volk to a large extent, like granted some of that is credits to Volk, but he kind of let Volk like control the like pace of the fight more so. And the few times he did kind of blitz Volk, he did clip him a couple of times, and I thought that like if he was gonna win that fight, he was gonna win like in the fire by like just eventually just finding the chin of Volk, which is kind of iffy at this point. Um, I don't think that Silva has the same chin issues, and I also think he can crack, but I don't think that he's probably has the same cardio as a Volk. I haven't it at least hasn't been proven at least. Um, I can see a point where like, even if he gets ahead early on with like the superior striking, like where Lopez might be able to like catch him with some shit like in the middle of the fight, later of the fight, just because like he might have a little bit more, 5 round experience. But I do agree with you that Silva's gonna win the fight. I just don't think that Lopez, from what he's shown so far, is technical enough. And I think that Silva's gonna build a decent enough lead early that like Lopez can't overcome at the end.
Yeah, this is just the worst matchup for Lopez, in my opinion. Coming after a Volk fight, Gene Silva on Team Clark, another late draft pick that's just gone very well. Um, and I gotta say, I love this matchup. I do think Lopez has his moments for sure. I think he gets maybe even stuns him at one point. But I just feel like Gene Silva is one of these Taporia types. Like I just can sense it in him. You know, the way he just emoting on people in the middle of the fight, just hooping on them. And I just feel like Lopez, I agree with Eggs, is not technical enough to beat a striker like Silva. And I don't think the wrestling will come into play whatsoever. I think this will be on the feet. Uh, Honestly, if I'm Silva, I'm trying to get him down, to be honest. Uh, Lopez is decent off his back, but I just feel like Silva's a beast, man. You know, he's my guy now. He's in my starting lineup. You know, we're getting Taporia out of there as well. You know, he's just got that pop, that potential. And once again, man, the fight nerds, we just keep riding.
All right, guys, let's move on. We're going to Perth, Australia. This one recently got announced. We got number 3, Carlos Ulberg versus number 8, Dominic Reyes. Reyes is on that resurgence coming off of those pretty devastating losses. Really feel good story. And have Carlos Ulberg, who seemingly like has been pretty close to a title for a while, just got a big dub over Jan Blachowicz. People weren't too impressed, but he should get a title shot if he wins here. What do you guys think about this fight? I'm pretty torn on this one.
I'm actually very torn on this one, bro. Because to be honest, even though Orberg has gotten a lot of wins and he looks promising because he looks promising in a division that doesn't have a lot of prospects on the rise, that is not enough to sell me that like he is like he can beat the upper echelon of these guys. And I do think that even though Reyes did hit some hard times for a while, he is on a resurgence. And the thing that I have seen Ober kind of struggle with is the hands. I think that from distance striking, he's like, he can damn near distance strike with anybody from distance, but if someone gets up close and personal with the hands and the pressure, I have seen him kind of struggle with that. Like not enough so far to like lose fights, but enough to like where he has moments where it looks a little iffy. Like he's kind of squeaking by a lot of these decisions. And I think that if Reyes can crowd his space and avoid the kicks, I don't think that Oberg, like, I wouldn't favor him to just like have one punch KO power. It's more like with the kicks and the strike and the like distance striking that like where he's the most dangerous. Um, I'm gonna tentatively guess that Oberg can get it done, but I would not be surprised if Reyes like. I think Uber can get it done by like a probably either a split decision or a unanimous like 29-28. I do see Reyes at least winning a round if he doesn't get like clipped somehow. Um, and to be honest, I could also see a world where like Reyes closes the space and like somehow clips Olberg, to be honest. So I'm tentatively gonna guess Oberg by unanimous decision 29-28, but I do expect it to be closer than most people might think.
The only reason I'm going over because he's on my team for sure. It is a 5 round fight. Reyes has not fought in a while in a 5 rounder, and Oberg was Blachowicz a 5 rounder?
Let me see.
I don't think he's been in one yet. Maybe he has, but
I think that was a co-main.
okay,
No, it was 3 rounds.
okay. So he's never been a 5 rounder either. So I will say I don't know what their cardio situations are like either side. But if we're just going off pure striking, I'm gonna trust Olberg in this fight. I think as good as Reyes has looked, who has it been against really? Like, and you can say the same thing, I guess, about Olberg a little bit, but at least,
Giannis,
yeah,
Giannis, Giannis the future. I mean, he's a former champ. Like we can't disrespect him.
yeah. I mean, he was a little older, but I will say it was a quality dub, and I just feel like Olberg is on the rise right now. And I still, I'm always worried with Reyes out there. He is a chin master a little.
Baby, that chin is iffy. I don't care if you win a couple fights in a row. That chin never recovers. It never gets better.
And I could just see Olberg picking him apart at range and then nailing one right down the middle and dropping and him finishing. I do think Olberg has that power, but it probably will be like kind of volume to get
I,
him out of there. I think it's gonna be a good fight for sure. I think it'll be back and forth, but I think Olberg's the better technical guy out of the two, personally.
yeah, I think you guys persuaded me. I'm gonna lean Olberg also.
You were
And
you were you were thinking Reyes though?
no. I was leaning Olberg, but just all the hype around Reyes and like the like flashy knockouts. Olberg hasn't looked great recently, but I could see him. I could see him getting a big finish here at home, like some TKO shit against the fence, something like that. And I hate to be this guy. I want Olberg to win. I'm not trying to shit on the Reyes comeback, but like I'd rather have Olberg win for the division
I just think
personally.
that, yeah, I feel like for divisions like light heavyweight and heavyweight, where like they kind of are in desperate need of like fresh blooded contenders.
Yeah.
It's the same reason why even though Derek Lewis is one of my favorite heavyweights, I was kind of not wanting him to win against Teixeira just for the sake of the
Yeah.
sport, like,
Fuck.
you know? But this might be another one of those, man. Dominic Reyes might tap that chin and like just shit on another division's future, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's pray against that. All right, guys. We got two more. We got two big ones. We got Ank versus Pereira 2 in Vegas, October the 4th. Another very tough one to call. Uncle Ives coming out as a pretty like decent favorite, like the odds. Pretty underwhelming first fight, if we're being honest, from both sides. I feel like Pereira has a lot more room to improve here just because like he didn't throw anything. But he is getting older. Uncle Ives more well rounded. What are you guys thinking? What do we got, guys?
I'm
Mm.
not gonna lie, I've long been Uncle Life merchant. I've been screaming from the rooftops that this man was the rightful king of the division. And even though I was not sure if he could beat Pereira or if he would beat Pereira, that did come to fruition, and I did end up being right about that in my prediction. The one thing I will say though is that that was not Pereira's best night by any stretch, and he defended almost, if not every single one of Uncle Life's takedowns.
That's a good point.
Um, and I think that I could see a world where like that does give Pereira the like sometimes a fighter is so paralyzed by the threat of the takedown they're scared to throw what they normally throw. And I can just see with less to lose and less fear of the takedown, I can see Alex opening up a lot more this fight. And even though I think that Ankalaev had more to give on the feet as well, I do think that if they are striking more so, I would obviously lean Pereira in that. And I thought that Ankalaev was at least going to be able to like implement his grappling a lot more than he was. I'm starting to think that Ankalaev may not be the grappler that I thought he was. And as an underdog, like I could see the fight playing out similarly. I do think that Ankalaev did not fight his best fight either. I think he was just doing what he had to do to get the win and what Pereira was kind of letting him do, which was just kind of smother him against the cage mostly. Um, it's like my heart is telling me Ankalaev, but my mind is telling me Pereira just like has like it might just be more exciting for the fucking sport if Pereira just gets him, bro. Honestly, off what I've seen, like if you're just gonna shamelessly do that, like as much as I fuck with Uncle, like man, bro, Pereira at the top of the division was electric, and I kind of just part of me just kind of wants to get back to that. So, but come back to me, bro. Fuck.
I got Bahia, man. All I saw in the first fight was stuff a takedown, little boxing, go to space, Peja not throw the whole time. I don't know what he was doing out there. He should have been more confident to throw if he was stuffing all these
Maybe
takedowns.
he was injured too. You never know with him. He be taking fights any kind of way.
Maybe. It was just a weird night. He is getting older, I get that, but man, Uncle Live, there's just something fluky about him when I see him in these kind of fights. Like there's just something weird going on. He's a good fighter, no doubt, but in these big time fights, he's just looked a little fluky, and I just feel like Pereira should come in with more confidence. He is the better striker. And also, Uncle Live's kind of on my list of fighters I want to see lose badly right now, including Armin Zarzoukian. If you think Taboria running from you, buddy, like, come on, bro.
For whatever reason, but that's a discussion for a different day.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying Uncle Live's on that list. I kind of just want to see him lose right now. I think he's a good fighter. But you just kind of, when you almost get beat by Jan Blachowicz at 36 or 37, whatever he was, and all I'm saying is like Pahea, like even though he did not look great, like I just don't think Uncle Live did much out there. He looked mid too to me, and I feel like if Pahea was on the feet, he can knock anyone out here. He can knock anyone out. So I'm rolling Paella, man. I think, especially him as a dog, I'll just take that. And maybe he loses again to Uncle Ive because he's a little younger, more in his prime currently, probably. But I just think Paella is just one of those dudes who can just smack anyone out of there. So he can always find that left hook on the chin. I'm rolling Paella.
Oh yeah, this one's so tough. I picked Magomed in the first one. I'm leaning Pereira in the second one. I'm not gonna lie, as like a last, like a final pick on Pereira. Like this is do or die for him, especially in terms of his like popularity and not relevance. He's still gonna be like a superstar, but like like being the face. He was the face of the sport as the champion. The whole Shama stuff. A lot of it has died down since. I'm gonna pick Pereira for now, subject to change. We got some time to think on this one.
Shama, baby. It's easy
Because
work.
as you guys did it, man, I'm gonna stick with my boy. Just to be a contrarian, but like I said, subject to change for sure. Damn near, I probably will have an updated opinion when I think about it more by the time the fight is closer. On the official prediction shit. But I just think that like they both have a much better fight in them in my mind, and I just think that like Magomed's grappling could have been better in that fight. I don't know what was to that, bro, but he could have got him down at least fucking one out of like 32 times, bro. So I feel like he kind of size bullied Pereira in there a little bit. And I think that you know, I just think that he has the bigger improvements he could make. And while they both have improvements they could make, I just think that like if he won on a night where they both look like shit, then I guess there's no reason to think he can't win on a night where they both look better. So I just think that they both will fight better. I expect a much more interesting fight, potentially a finish. I think that they grapple less in this one and fight more, and I think he can catch Alex too, like honestly. So he can catch him and then like, do enough in the grappling between, in the little shameless rounds to, finesse a decision. So 29, I mean not 29, 28, but whatever the scorecard is, 3-2, like that, I feel like it's gonna be that. One of those back and forth. He like, maybe the Alex rounds are more exciting, but he does shamelessly get the grappling off a little bit more and, hold his title type shit. So I'm just gonna guess he squeaks out a decision.
All right.
Hey, just gotta chop the legs away, man.
It could be a whole different fight, man.
Final fight of the video, guys. We got Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane in Abu Dhabi. Um, I mean, long
Yeah.
time coming. Long time coming. We're finally past the Jones era.
Are we? Because
I, th-
I'm hearing rumblings of a White House car headlined by Jones on the 4th of July of next year, to be honest.
I just don't see it. I'm sorry. I can't see it happening.
This
I
car
can't
is
see
not
it.
happening.
This is a once in a lifetime shit, and like, who better to defend America, bro, against the foreign invaders that are? There's no American champions right now, so like, I'm just saying, like,
True.
who better to fucking defend America than Johnny Bones, baby? Let's get it. Let's get
Captain
it.
America.
Well, wouldn't he be the? Well, he wouldn't be the champ anymore now, correct?
I mean, he'd
No.
be he'd be the challenger.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Look, man. I don't think that fight's happening, but I think John's content with being done. I think this is one of his trolling moments where he's given us all hope, but I think he's just kidding around. When it comes to this fight, I'm a big Cyril Gane fan, as y'all know. Um, I'm picking Aspinall, but I will say do not underestimate Gane in this fight. If this thing is standing for 25 minutes, don't be shocked if Cyril Gane just dances around him and kicks to the body the whole time. He's that athletic, but I do think Tom is a very fast heavyweight. These are the two fastest heavyweights in a long time, I would say, maybe ever. I mean, I think it's up for debate.
I mean, I think Kane was up there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Kane was definitely up there in his prime, and so I guess was DC.
Yeah, but I do think Aspinall probably is going to be smart here, go for the takedowns. I'm sure Gon hasn't been training on him. We're filming a movie, man. We're doing our own thing.
Kane doesn't give a fuck, bro. That's the problem with his ass.
He's too
We're
cool for school, bro.
That's
yeah,
the problem.
yeah,
He's never gonna reach his potential.
chill.
'Cause he's talented, but like, he's that classic like hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard quote. That Thunderstruck KD quote, bro. He's the prime example, bro. He's a talent that like is just not working hard enough, I feel like.
I
And
mean,
Grant
we are 13-2, so we're doing something right over here.
14-3 by my fucking count. Volkov just whooped his ass. I don't care.
It's just and the two title fights that he's had, he has not shown up like whatsoever.
I mean, he was on Francis's ass. I'm
Hooping
not gonna say
Ngannou.
that.
He was
He was
hooping
on
on
Ngannou's
Ngannou's
ass.
ass.
And then got
Ngannou,
sat on by a dude with like a broken leg, bro.
bro, and,
Okay,
and
no, I
Ngannou
feel you,
had to
but
wrestle fuck him, bro, because he was getting kicked to shit in that fight. You know he was.
all I'm gonna say is, man, wasn't Francis supposed to be the best, like, most fiercest striker in the UFC, and Gane was just hoop. We were
Dude,
throwing
no, the odds were
your
gone. I think was
elbows.
like damn near a favorite in that fight.
I'm sure he was not a favorite in that fight.
I do not believe he was.
I gotta
I,
look this up.
I remember the line being close, Ed, but I do believe I'd be so. Oh well.
And Ngannou was so dominant at the time. He was not a favorite over. Ngannou was not the favorite,
Well,
bro.
Ngannou like came back from the
I know.
injury, so I think maybe.
No, no, no. You guys are right. France
Okay,
is a favorite.
I kind of
How much?
figured
Do you see how much?
it was probably close. I bet it was close.
Minus 190 for Francis.
Yeah,
Wow.
that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that is about
That
right.
sounds right. Yeah.
A lot more than I thought it was,
But
but
either way, the most feared motherfucker resorted to taking this man down, and guess what? Unfortunately, in doing so, he exposed this man gone. And
all I'm saying is on the feet, we are dynamite here. We are dynamite.
exactly.
Just because of a broken toe against old ass Volkov, which no one talks about, by the way, act like he didn't have a broken toe in that fight. You know, and who cares if Volkov wins? Like at this point, Volkov, what is he gonna prove in a title fight at this point? He's like 42, like he's not doing anything. Like, man, heavyweight needs some help. We need some help in these rankings. If Volkov's in at two, like he's all right, but back to this. I think Tom will just wrestle him down, probably get a sub or something. But it's on the feed. Don't be shocked.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like I really for the parody of the whole situation would love it if Gon won this fight, bro. Because I know John Jones will have a field day. I would have a field day. It would just be like so great, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I just don't know where Gon's head is, bro. He's like damn near the Kevin Holland of this division almost, bro. Even though he's like so much more talented, but like it's just kind of like, you don't know. Like Kevin Holland can win, but is he gonna train and show up and fucking try? That's where I feel. That's where I'm at with Gon. I do know that like the against Volkov, he was more trying to just shoot a panic guillotine because his toe was broken. And I'm not gonna say he doesn't have grit a little bit because like I guess for a movement based fighter, a broken toe would be kind of very like damaging for his style. He can't really bounce around the same. So if I'm excusing that, then I mean like this fight is probably a little more even than people are gonna give it credit for. I think everyone kind of assumes that Tom gonna run over him on the ground, and he has the opportunity to actually lock in and shock us with some proper takedown defense. And I think that this fight gets real interesting on the feet. We have not seen Tom extended long into fights, whereas we have seen Cyril like go five at least. So if it gets into, round three and Cyril's not submitted and they're still on the feet and Tom starts to gas, it can get a little interesting. But obviously, I have to predict that Tom subs him up at some point, just based on what I've seen. Emotionally, I will be probably cheering for Gon while my money will be on Tom by sub, probably.
Yeah, I gotta go with Tom here. Like Tom might have some weaknesses, like maybe he does have a gas tank issue if it goes
Oh, we
long,
don't
stuff
know.
like
We don't know.
yeah. That's the thing we don't know. We know exactly what Cyril Gane's weaknesses are, and I feel like Tom plays right
Right,
into them.
right into that.
It's just a bad matchup.
Agreed, agreed.
So I gotta go with Tommy boy.
He loses though. I'm on Guru's ass for sure. I'm on his
It'd
ass.
be an insane upset.
I'm gonna be waving the John Jones freak flag like no one else, bro. If Gon wins this fucking fight, I'm on everyone's ass on Twitter. Like people are gonna hate me, to be honest. Who's gonna hate me, bro? Luke, fucking what's his name? Luke Thomas is gonna hate me. I'm DMing them personally, bro.
All right, well. Before we go, what is the most exciting main event coming up?
I would
Bes
have DDP Hamzat.
Besides DDP Hamza, I feel like 'cause that's the obvious answer.
I
Uh,
mean, it's kind of Aspinall.
Yeah, I
Very,
think you're right. Yeah.
big on ass.
and then I'm really excited for Lopez Silva too, as well. To be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Great fights coming up. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let us know what you guys think in the